Today's Wednesday, November the 2nd, 2011, and a lot has happened in the last couple of days. And I want to start off tonight talking about Herman Cain. He appeared at the National Press Club on Monday, and I had an opportunity to hear what he had to say, especially because I wanted to hear his explanation of the 999 tax plan and the 909 that went in it. And he didn't get into a lot of depth, but he brought someone with him to help him explain it. And that person was on C-SPAN this morning talking about the 999 plan. And some of it made some sense, but some of it didn't make a lot of sense either. However, I think Herman Cain has got bigger problems right now. On the Sunday night, the story broke of two women that he had known previously that apparently had been paid some sort of settlement regarding a sexual harassment claim. And when Herman Cain was asked about it at the National Press Club, I think that was the first question after his speech, he adamantly said, "I did not sexually harass. I did not have sexual relations with that woman." Where have I heard that before? So a couple of comments about that. Is his story changed later in the day? This morning, a columnist that I read on occasion, Maureen Dowd, said he's done, and I think so too, because he's got that. He also has something about some payments to a nonprofit that his campaign owes. Then yesterday, Block is his last name, I think, is his campaign manager, and he was in a panel discussion with all of the rest of the Republican candidates, some of their top people. And he was asked about it from the chief political correspondent of ABC News, and he got a little abrupt with her when she pressed him on that question about the sexual harassment. So anyways, he's probably done for no other reason than he's going to get crucified in the press over it. I have my thoughts about this. I don't understand why we make such an issue of things like that in this country. I don't know whether we think it goes to the candidate's judgment or what have you, but we make a big deal out of things like that. And you know, Herman Cain may have been able to attribute some of his rise in the business world to political correctness. Maybe, maybe not. But certainly political correctness may have had something to do with his downfall. One of the reports said alcohol was involved. So anyways, I think we'll see if he appears at the next presidential debate or whether he goes ahead and calls it a day. Then also on a similar line, or that has a thread similar to it, there's a judge in Aransas County, Texas, that who apparently spanked his daughter pretty hard with a belt 7 years ago, and she got it on video, and it went viral, and as of this morning, over 600,000 people had seen it. A couple of comments about that when we talk about politics and law in this country. If an adult had done that, what was in the video, to another adult in this country, you probably would have been looking at jail time, most certainly. Now we supposedly in this country have the right within certain guidelines to bring up our children the way that we want to, and that includes corporal punishment. When you look at that video, it looks pretty severe, and I'm not going to exercise any hypocrisy here or anything like that. But I know a lot of people, especially here in the South. Well, I think everywhere in the United States, everybody can quote you the line out of the Bible that says, "Spare the rod and spoil the child." But I just want to share. I don't think that's what it means. I think if everybody knows that quote, but what it's talking about there, I believe, are two things: the rod and the staff, and that's the staff of discipline and the rod of correction. And so that phrase, as I understand it in the Bible, doesn't mean if you don't beat your kids, they're going to grow up to be horrible. I think what it means is that if you don't correct your children, that they may not go, the way that they should go. So I don't pretend to judge. I don't pretend to teach here either. I just offer that. Two other things I want to comment about tonight. Also, a little bit on the strange side. Apparently, a former Air Force Staff Sergeant, female, 30 weeks pregnant, had gone grocery shopping with her husband after they had just moved to a new neighborhood, and they ended up in a grocery store I think they hadn't been to before. She grabbed a couple of chicken salad sandwiches while they were shopping. They get ready to leave. They pay for their groceries. It was about $50. They'd forgotten to pay for the sandwiches. Apparently they had the wrapper in the cart and everything like that. I can relate, and as you know, these videos are just my comments. I shop in a big store around here. There's a Walmart close by that I usually buy groceries at, and I'll go back to the deli and maybe get some chicken popcorn or something like that and snack on it while I'm shopping, and I keep the little bucket it comes in and pay for it before I go out. But they forgot, and that can happen. So I guess they got confronted when they went out of the store. And then they were told that once they had left the store, it was obviously a mistake, but once they had left the store, they couldn't go back and pay for it. And they, as I understand it, the husband and the wife ended up in jail, and there was a 3-year-old daughter involved that Child Protective Services came and got the daughter. And I'm going to put my 2 cents in here. That was a shame. Safeway, bad, bad, bad. The police, everyone involved, overreacted in that situation. And how often do we hear of things like that happening nowadays? It may have happened before, but now with immediate news coverage and internet access of everyone all over the world, something like this is going to get out. Something like the judge beating his daughter with a belt is going to get out. So then the last thing, the fourth item tonight, is something similar, another overreaction, and a question that I have. Apparently, there was a young woman, as part of her, I guess, school group. There were I think 80 of them went to New York to see about getting work in fashion design and things like that. And it was late in the evening. It was past midnight, I think, but her and another person from the group, I think, not her boyfriend is what they say, were walking in some park in New York. ostensibly because she wanted to see the Hudson River. And cops pull up, and they haul this woman off to jail, and she spends 2 nights in jail because she didn't have any ID on her. I don't remember that you have to carry your papers with you in the United States to walk around. If you do, somebody tell me, please, so that before I walk out of my house in the morning, that I'll make sure that my papers are in order. You know, we make fun of other countries doing that. Are we doing it now? Have we gotten so ridiculous in this country? So those are just a few of my comments for Wednesday, November 2nd, 2011. And I hope you have a good evening.